Hey guys, welcome back. It's another video and another week, and it's still me. This week I'm going to talk to you about relief. Now, anyone who is looking for more flow in their life, more ease, more of a soothing, relaxed state of being, and looking to embody more of their fullness, more of their wholeness, of who they really are, then looking for relief is your work. And it's your work in the sense of no matter what's going on around you, no matter who's there, no matter what's being said or done, or no matter what place you find yourself in, your job is to find relief from any thought you have that's bouncing off of whatever it is going on around you that doesn't feel good or that gives you a negative emotion. Now, negative emotions don't have to stem really deep as far as like hatred and those things. It can be confusion. You know, you want clarity when you're confused. It could be pessimism. Things might not look too great. It's hard to be optimistic in certain situations or around certain people. So relief is super important. It's what you should reach for in those moments. Now, in those moments, it's real important to mind the gap. Mind the gap in the sense of don't reach for something as relief that's completely out of your reach. Reach for something in the vicinity of what you can reach for, within your reach. Something that'll make you feel good and will feel logical for you to reach for. You know, I'm not going to ask you if you're feeling really angry to look for butterflies and harps. That's not what the call sounds like to you to get into your fullness, to become more of what you're not allowing, to have more of an unconditional perspective. However, what may seem better to you and what you may want to reach for from anger is frustration. It's easier to feel frustrated when you're angry than it is to feel happy, joyful, blissful, optimistic, eager, all those things. So mind the gap when you're looking for relief, and know that what you're trying to do in any moment, your work, your attempts, are just to find relief. And it doesn't have to be an efforting excursion. It doesn't have to be something that's a lot of work. I mean, it does take practice. Yeah, practice. But before you start any of this work, as you hear these words now, ask yourself, is it important to you to feel good? And if you say, yeah, sure it is. It'll feel good to me when that dickhead at work stops doing what they do. Or it'll feel good to me when... It'll feel good for me when... It'll feel good for me when... If anything starts that way, you don't even need to finish the sentence. It's a flawed premise. No matter who or what is, you feel good. Because you know that that's your natural state. And you want your natural state to flow. So how do you let your natural state flow? You do just that. You let it. You allow it. You allow it. So search for relief. And then just inch your way up. Relief after relief after relief. Until you find yourself lighthearted. In a very optimistic place. In a place where you feel more ease than you felt before, just a moment ago. Minding the gap really is the key. So as you go through your day and you have a set of circumstances that are laid before you, people are involved, places are involved, there's a lot of components that make up this equation. And you know what's on the equal side. The equation has to equal good feeling, ease, ultimately joy, joy, good feeling, ease. So your job is to find the variables. Don't give your attention to the variables that aren't going to equate to that answer. I think this probably is simple as I can be with talking about it this way. And this is the work that I do. This is what I'm doing with myself, and you're privy to this because I post these videos so that you can see me getting up to speed with who I am. So anybody that's holding themselves to a standard that they maybe can't attain right now or in that moment or any given moment, you won't feel good. So don't hold yourself to such a high standard. And in some situations, optimism is a high standard. You know, it's hard to tell someone or to tell yourself, let alone someone else, to feel optimistic when they're depressed. People don't hear optimism. It's like a dog will hear frequencies, sounds that we can't hear because their vibrational interpreters, ears, physical ears, are interpreting higher frequencies than ours. So we don't hear what they hear sometimes. Just like when someone's in depression and that's their vibration, that's their momentary vibrational offering. We don't, or they don't, when we're in that space, have an opportunity to hear something that is of a higher vibration. So something that's calling you the ultimate feeling of joy and bliss. It sounds like harps and angels, and harps and angels don't get heard by those that don't have ears to hear or eyes to see. Again, those that are in a lower vibrational state, those that are surrounding themselves in a vibration and becoming and offering, emitting a vibration of a lower frequency. So optimism is out of reach to someone who's depressed. And if you constantly say, I want to be optimistic, but I'm depressed, then that gap just rips you apart. It's like you try to leap and you fall in between the cracks and you stay in that little shadow pitfall. You stay in depression. But now if you're in depression and you just want to find relief, and because you know that feeling good's important. Remember, that's the number one thing. You've got to know that feeling good is your natural state. So first thing I do is I laugh. I say, okay, well, no matter what I'm feeling, yeah, this may have caused me to feel this way, but I know that nothing can cause me to feel anyway. That my natural state is wellness, that my natural state is joy, and I am free. It's just I'm letting some external components here in my physical reality, which is just a vibrational one that I'm interpreting with my senses and smelling, feeling, touching, and seeing it. And I'm letting it let me perpetuate a vibration that is perpetuating it. So it's a vicious cycle, vicious circle. So if you are in a state of depression, reach for anger or rage. Those two things are within the approximate range of where you're at already. And so that's going to feel good to you. And then when you're there, you can slide up further and reach for, from rage, you can reach for anger. From anger, you can reach for frustration. For frustration, you can reach for pessimism. You can kick the pessimistic can around for a while. Then move your way up, and eventually you start to get to these softer emotional states. And as you get to these softer emotional states, they become lighter. And as they become lighter, your emotions become lighter. You become lighter. Your circumstances, even though they may be physically the same, others will perceive them as the same. You don't. You perceive them as quite different. So you actually have transformed yourself. You bead the change. And others will see that as well. So our work here in any moment is just to find relief from the feeling we're feeling that's holding us apart from where we know we are supposed to be, from where we know we are. We're just not up to speed with it here, right now, in this moment. But the broader part of ourselves that we're always connected to only exists in that. So if we get up to speed with that, we'll be aligned with it. That's what alignment is. That's what attainment is. So if this makes any sense to you, it's awesome. Then you should probably subscribe to my channel. And, oh we're never reaching for the best feeling ever. Because the best feeling ever is always a ways away, because we're eternal beings and we're always moving forward. So what we want is the next best. So always reach for the next best, and the next best, and the next best. And as we do that, we'll have an eternal unfolding of amazing creative potential. And everything that is going on around us is there for us to witness as the garden we've planted. Just we didn't realize that we planted these seeds, so we've just got to deal with it, reap the crop, harvest the crops, and then we can repot or reseed or regrow. Okay? So when we've heard it, and we've all heard it before, prepare the way. What that means is make peace with where you're at right now. So make peace with where you're at. That's how you prepare the way. You expand further by making peace with where you are. When you have clay and you're making something out of clay, the clay you play with it in your hand for a little while. And as you play with it in your hand for a little while, it becomes warm. When it gets warm, it's more malleable. And as it becomes more malleable, you can sculpt the finest things with it. And when you stop touching it for a while and the air gets at it, it becomes a little more stiff and rigid. So the key is to keep molding the clay. So keep molding your clay. Constantly reach for better feeling thoughts. There always is. We know what we can do. We can go general. And if you're faced with it, if it's someone who's in front of you, if it's a place that's in front of you, if it's a home where you live, if it's a city where you live, if it's a relationship you're in, if it's a family member that's around you, living with you, if it's someone on the bus in front of you, at the grocery store in front of you, then that's your work. That's right there in front of you. Go general until you can find something to appreciate about it, about that person. So none of this work will make any sense to you. It won't sound like anything within your range. It'll just sound like mumbo jumbo, jargon, unless you know first that your original feeling, your unconditional self, who you really are, is good feeling. You feel good, and it's good to feel good. So when you understand that and use that as your bouncing off place for everything else becomes easier. Then you're willing to do the work. But until you know that, and it's the most important thing for you to do, you won't do the work. It'll be hard for you. You make an excuse. You let something get to you. You let something knock you off. So, number one, know that it is your right, and it is who you really are, to feel good. And it's good to feel good. And it's your most dominant intent to feel good in every moment you can. And when you feel bad, that's okay. Because when you feel bad, you carve out a lot of clarity in feeling good. And that's good too. It gives you something to line up with. That's great. Contrast is a beautiful thing. It helps to live clarity. So number one, feel good. It's important to you to feel good. Number two, reach for a relief. Reach for relief within the vicinity of where you are. And if it's something you're faced with in your face, let it be on that subject. If it's not, and you're alone with yourself in your room, you find yourself, you can't stop thinking about something. Maybe you're at work, you're out for a walk, you can't clear your mind, you're in meditation, your mind won't stop. Then just go general. Find something. Know that the animals are all out there doing their own thing, and the animals don't have jobs, but yet they do jobs in nature. And nature doesn't employ them. Nature nourishes them, and they find everything they need, and they live happy lives. They don't die old and decrepit. They go into a bush and they leave on choice in their prime. There's billions of stars in our universe. There's all these planets floating around in our galaxy in perfect proximity from one another and the sun to give us what we have here, our ecosystem. our water supply, our tides, our food sources, everything, and it's all unlimited. So this is what you can do. Go general like that when you have those times and those moments. So that's step 2. And step 3 is don't forget to mind the gap. Don't reach for something out of the vicinity of where you are, too far out of that range. Never reach for the best feeling, because you're not going to get that right away. Just point in the direction. The direction is all you can do. And enjoy the ride. Little analogy or metaphor. If you're on the subway system and you're in Toronto, we have a subway system that's really great. And there's one that goes east and west. It's the Bloor line. And that east or west line is just one straight line. It has at least a couple dozen stops on it. And if I'm going from one end to the other, let's call it station A to station Z, I know that getting on that train is going to take me to station Z. And I'm starting at station A. So am I going to, at every stop, station B, station C, station D, station E, station F, station G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, at all of those stops, am I going to say to myself, I'm not there yet, maybe I should turn around, I'm not going in the right direction? I know, I can see the map, I have well intent, I've got it there, and I'm going in the right direction. I'm headed west, I should get to that station, I'm on the right train. No. So the same thing for you and your journey. Don't be mad that you're not at the end result, because the end result is there. The train ride will get you there. Your flow of life will get you there. You've got to get into the flow. Cool. So this is the work that I'm doing with myself, and that you probably are finding yourself doing or willing now to do with yourself. Those are just a few steps. Those 3 steps are super important if you want to be who you really are, which is unconditional. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and oh yeah, now I'll tell you. I'm about 3 or maybe 6, I guess, 3 to 6 subscribers away from being 500, and I know I haven't made a juicing video yet, and I did get a super wicked awesome superior juicer over Christmas. So if I get 500 subscribers, I'll make a juicing video. I know I said I was going to make one soon, but I didn't. But if I get 500 subscribers, that's what I'll do. I'll make a juicing video with a really cool juicing recipe for you guys. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I will see you next week, kids!